Max Verstappen, the Dutch sensation who took the Formula One world by storm at just 17 years old, is once again making headlines. This time, it's not for his record-breaking wins or youthful prowess on the track, but for a potential early exit from the sport. Verstappen, the son of former Formula One driver Jos Verstappen, made history as the youngest driver to ever compete in Formula One. He quickly established himself as a force to be reckoned with and caught the attention of Red Bull Racing. The team took a chance on him in 2016 and it paid off in spades. Under their guidance, Verstappen became the youngest winner in Formula One history and has since cemented his place in the sport's history books. In 2022, Max Verstappen broke the record for the most Grand Prix wins in a single season with 15, surpassing the previous record by 13 set by Sebastian Vettel and Michael Schumacher. He also became the second youngest driver to attain 2 championships. Last season, Red Bull were clearly the class of the field, but in the early rounds of the season, Ferrari posed a genuine threat for victories at every race. One could argue that the Italian team gifted Verstappen additional wins, most notably in Spain, when Charles Leclerc broke down, and in France when Leclerc crashed out of the lead. However, the counter-argument is that Verstappen consistently positioned himself to take advantage of these opportunities. More impressively, he has won races from lowly grid positions, which was rarely the case for the other Vettel and Schumacher. Vettel won all of his 13 races in 2013 from the front row of the grid, while Schumacher won 11 of his 13 from the first 2 grid positions. However, Verstappen has won 6 of his 15 from grid positions outside the top 2, 2 of which were from way back in 10th and 14th on the grid in Hungary and Belgium. At first glance, his qualifying performance may appear to be negative. However, his 3 lower starting positions that led to victories were all due to factors beyond his control. These include races where he had grid penalties for engine component changes in Italy and Belgium, or a power unit issue during qualifying in Hungary. In addition, Ferrari had a faster car in qualifying at several races last year, which was not the case among the rivals of Vettel and Schumacher during their domination. This means that Verstappen had to work harder to earn the front row starting positions he secured. To underscore this point, an interesting statistic from this year is that Leclerc has a higher average starting position of 2.65 compared to Verstappen's 2.7. Despite securing only 9 poles to Verstappen's 7. Again, the comparison between eras is far from perfect, but there is no doubt Verstappen has already put himself among the sport's greatest drivers, with many fruitful years of his career still to run. However, recent interviews with Verstappen have led fans to question if his time in Formula One may be coming to an end. With his contract with Red Bull set to expire in 2028, some speculate that he may choose to leave the sport at the peak of his career rather than continuing on. Despite being only 24, Verstappen has frequently been asked about when he thinks it will be time for him to retire. While rivals such as Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso at 37 and 41 respectively show no signs of slowing down, Verstappen has suggested that he would like to pursue other endeavours at that age. The Dutch driver has said he might leave the sport when his contract ends in 2028. Verstappen said, "I haven't made up my mind what I will do after 2028. I might stop. I've been in Formula One since I was 17. It's been a long time. I've done a lot of seasons in F1. But even if he extends his stay, the Dutchman does not see himself racing at 40 like Fernando Alonso. He said, "I won't be around. I don't see myself driving until I'm 40. In Formula One at least. I want to also do other things. But I still have a few years in Formula One for sure." You're enjoying this video, right? You definitely don't want to miss out on other amazing videos. So all you have to do is hit the subscription button. It's that easy. Thanks for doing that. Let's move on. After winning the last 2 Formula One World Championships, it raises the questions of how many more he will win before his current contract with Red Bull expires at the end of 2028. It is possible that he could win a total of 8, which would set a new record surpassing the current 7 titles held jointly by Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher. However, if he falls short of that, it is unlikely that the 24-year-old will stay in the sport to chase the record. Verstappen will be 31 when his Red Bull contract expires, and Marco reckons no matter how much money the team throws at him, if he wants to walk away at that point, he will. Marco said, "We want to win more titles together, but I doubt if we will see Max drive until he has broken all records. He could make it, but he's also the type of person who packs his things and leaves when he no longer feels like it. No matter how much you offer him, he won't stay, and that could happen sooner than we all think." But why would Verstappen want to retire early? The Red Bull driver said the length of an F1 season was the main reason he could walk away to spend more time with family and friends. The Dutchman even stressed flying to over 20 races a year was not healthy to maintain. He explained, "I have often said that this is too much. It's the main reason why I will not continue to do this until I'm 40. This much traveling and activity are just not healthy. I still really like it now, but you have to give up a lot for it as well." That sounds crazy because driving in Formula One is of course a dream for many people, but you are always very far from home and from the people you love. There comes a time when you are done with that, but that's how it really is. When I'm done with it, I'll stop. It's that simple. So what will Verstappen go into once he retires from F1? If Max Verstappen were to retire from Formula One, he has expressed interest in trying out other forms of racing. In an interview, Verstappen stated that he would be interested in racing on his own accord. However, he has confirmed that he will not be participating in the Indy 500 race. Many were speculating that Verstappen had plans to become a Triple Crown winner. A Triple Crown in racing consists of winning the Monaco Grand Prix, the Indy 500 and the 24 Hours Le Mans. Verstappen has already won one of the three, but has no plans to compete in the Indy 500. He said, "I never had the desire to get the Triple Crown. I have a lot of respect for what they do, but for me, now that I've been in F1 for so long, I don't need to risk my life or get an injury to my legs or anything. It's not worth it anymore." While fans won't see the star at the Indy 500, they could see him grace the Le Mans track. Verstappen said, "Maybe Le Mans. I like endurance races, so I'll probably do a few." If Verstappen were to retire after his current contract with Red Bull expires in 2028, he would have likely competed in more than 300 Grand Prix races, a feat achieved by only 6 drivers in Formula One history. With World Championship wins in 2021 and 2022, if he continues his winning streak until 2028, he will break the record of 7 championships currently held jointly by Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher. As things stand, Verstappen has got 35 race wins and will look to add more in the next few years. He certainly has a shot at hitting the century of wins only passed by Hamilton. But again, it will depend on how tough Verstappen's challenges, Leclerc, Russell, Norris and others will be. On the record of pole positions, Max isn't fond of getting the top spot on the grid. He has got only 20 pole positions to couple his 35 race wins, so it is more likely that the Dutchman can hit the century of wins first than the century of poles. Should Verstappen exit the sport early, it would buck a trend of modern drivers racing into their late 30s and beyond. Lewis Hamilton is still racing at 37 and looks likely to race well into his 40s, while Fernando Alonso, already 41, is starting a multi-year deal with Aston Martin next year. Michael Schumacher also returned to F1 in his 40s, but fellow 2-time world champion Mika Häkkinen believes Verstappen may be tempted to switch teams when his Red Bull contract runs out instead of retiring from F1. Häkkinen said, "It is great that Verstappen signed such a long-term contract, but there is always the risk that when important people leave the car, is no longer performing to the driver's expectations. At that point, a driver will wonder if it is time to switch teams. I don't think Max Verstappen will stay with Red Bull for the rest of his career." That's just my opinion, but historically, drivers have often switched teams for various reasons, even if they had multiple titles with one specific team. That could be for financial reasons or simply because they were ready for a new environment. How soon do you think Max Verstappen will retire from Formula One? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video.